Hey guys, it's Ira. It's August, or we've got 26th, Thursday, and this is the vlog. And I just got pretty far into one, and it said I didn't have any space left. We have a motion light here, and we're in the park. And Nikki was like, "Have you deleted your past vlogs?" I was like, "Yes." And she's like, "But did you delete them out of the recently deleted folder?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "Yeah, you still got to do that every time." And so I learned she's the IT person. And so hopefully this lets me go. So anyway, I guess I'm going to start over. So sorry if this might sound kind of crappy, but I don't want to go through everything again, but I'm going to. We got up a little late, so we went to McDonald's and allowed some sausage McMuffins. And we headed by the park to give our babies, our crow children, some. And they were excited. I think they recognized the McDonald's bag because they came all flocking down quick, and that usually takes them a bit. And so they all came down there, and they enjoyed them, and they got fairly close. We're trying to get them to associate greater reward with getting closer to us and all that. And so we did that, and we went to the bus stop or the satellite parking for the university, so we could get on the bus. And we took our supplements, a women's multivitamin. Yes, I took a woman's multivitamin because I'm not too good for a woman's multivitamin. I'm secure in my masculinity. We've been talking about multivitamins because there's recent, I think maybe the past year, a big study was done that proved that finally was like, yeah, it does make a big difference to take multivitamin, because I don't think there was ever any real good evidence. It just took time to accumulate that. And so, not surprising though, right? So we're taking one, but we wanted to go to Natural Grocers to get our final one. Like, she wants one for her for women and for her age, and so I was like, well, we're almost gonna be back in Kansas City soon, so let's just wait till we get to Natural Grocers and get the ones we like there, and then for now we can just buy the Walmart Garden of Life, which is a good brand, as far as I know, women's multivitamin, because they didn't have a asexual vitamin, so I'm sure it won't hurt me to take it for a couple weeks. And sorry. We then I took CoQ10, which I've been taking for energy, and I think it helps. I take like 400 to 600 milligrams a day. And then creatine, I've taken for a while, on and off. Sorry, I got some like reflux or something. And it's been used for decades by bodybuilders. It's been thoroughly researched and been shown to be effective to give extra energy to your muscles, even at a cellular level. And bodybuilders are able to lift more and lift heavier, and therefore get more gains, I guess they call it. I was trying to think of a better word, but I guess that's kind of the word, gains. But I guess if it's a strength trainer, it's just to get stronger. And so they've more recently found out that science studies that it has a neuroprotective factor, a significant neuroprotective factor, because creatine is a precursor to ATP, which I think is adenosine triphosphate, if memory serves. And that's a energy source that all cells, as I understand it from what I've read and seen and heard, all cells in your body use, from bone cells to brain cells. So not surprising really that it helps the brain too. They say you do need to take more of it for the brain than you would for the muscles. Traditionally, it's been 5 grams a day to help build strength and muscle for the neuroprotective factor, people are saying 10, 15, maybe 20. And so I'm pretty experimental with that kind of stuff. And so I oftentimes will just take 20 at one shot. And it's kind of like it wake up juice. It really does. And it sustains you, and there's not a crash, for me at least. It can, if you go right into it, you could end up with a little bit of gastric distress. But from what personally, I adjusted to it, and from what I've read, most people do. And there's typically a loading phase where, I guess a common loading phase is 20 a day, spaced out, 2 to 4 times of 10 or 5 grams. And then, what are you watching? I keep seeing Nikki's Instagram reel. Anyway, but they're saying now, like, if you want to help your brain, take maybe 15, maybe even 20, maybe even more. Like, if you're going to have an especially challenging day. And I'll regularly take 20 or more. And it really gives me energy, sustainable energy, no crash, clear thinking, better memory, better problem solving. So, and it's, apparently there are studies that show that it even reduces the risk of dementia, because that neuroprotective factor, according to Dr. Rhonda Patrick, I saw an interview with her, she said that the NFL, at least some of the teams, will give their players 20 grams before games as for neuroprotective effect, because those guys sustain so much trauma to the brain through I think a lot of it is from the slaps, like the offensive linemen. And it's not just like, slap. It's like a sledgehammer. These guys are huge. And so those guys, if you've never seen the movie Concussion, starring Will Smith, it's fairly old at this point, but he plays a doctor, I think from Kenya or Nigeria, I can't remember, that basically discovered something called chronic traumatic encephalopathy. And he discovered it because he was in Pittsburgh, I think it was, and there was a problem with these football players, the Steelers, just kind of losing it in their 30s or so, and just like killing themselves or doing weird stuff and torturing themselves, or just kind of, sorry, got emotional later. And he was a coroner. He was very highly educated. He had all kinds of degrees, and he was working for the city as a coroner, and a very interesting person. He wanted to do the autopsy because it's like, wait, these guys are 35-year-old professional athletes, and they shocked themselves to death with a taser to the neck or something. He's like, we have to do an autopsy. And like the manager was all mad. I don't know how much of that was dramatized, but he's like, no, this will be really unpopular politically and upset everybody. And he's like, I'm sorry, I'm doing it. And he like spent his own money to do like biopsies, I guess you call it, of the brain tissue and all kinds of stuff. Get slides of these guys' brain tissue. And he got it. And this stuff had not been done because obviously it's not common to do autopsies on people that die. Of course, murder. But like, he discovered these brain cells are just shot. And so he takes it to a local, I think like the local university hospital head neurologist or something. And he's like, look at these slides. And the guy looks at me, he's like, okay, what 90-year-old Alzheimer's patient? He's like, nope, 35-year-old professional athlete. And he explains to him who it is. And the guy's like, oh my gosh. He's like, this is going to be a huge problem because people aren't going to want to hear it. And a lot of people tried to shut him down because it was like revealing the fact that football is incredibly, horribly bad for your brain. And the thing with chronic traumatic encephalopathy is that it takes time for whatever reason to develop. So like you're getting the trauma for years, and then later, boom, it kind of just, like these cells just fail in a sense, or kind of solidify, or so. I can't remember exactly. They just basically stop functioning right. And anyway, so back to the creatine. It helps protect neurons, brain cells, spine, nervous, anything in your nervous system. So, and it gives them energy. They can perform better and regenerate, heal better, and all that stuff. So, sorry for any misspoken terms. I'm not a medical expert, but so we took that stuff, and Nikki took some of it, and because she was tired, I think, and I asked her if she thought it might help, so I gave her like 5 grams, and then later in the day I gave her another 5, and she's it helped her. And so interesting stuff, I think. And then we went on to the library, rode the bus, which we love doing. It feels like you're at the amusement park or something on a ride. And we just love the energy of the university, all the young people that are full of hope and that are just so alive, and we're not interacting much with them, but it's just, there's a vibration there. It's just so cool. And we went there, and I just started right away working on my blog. I went and saved us a seat while she went into the student union and got us a couple coffees. And it was a splurge day. We're normally going to make our own coffee and food like we do, so we were just behind schedule. And I think where was it? So she came over. I worked on my blog. It took me about 3 hours. I thought it was a good one. If you want to check it out, I'm on blogger.com as well as my own site, Google Sites, and I've posted those URLs a few times on Instagram, Facebook, even TikTok, and I think maybe YouTube also. But then we went to go dash. I went a little over time. We wanted to start earlier, so it was my fault, but we started, and it was a good dash. It was we made, I think, about $130. We've been making like 21, 22 bucks an hour here for the total dash time. And if you know anything about DoorDash, there's total dash and active dash, and like the difference is made up in part, at least, of like when you're sitting waiting for an order, or you've gotten sent outside of the zone to deliver something and you're coming back to the zone, which that's not super common here because there's nothing around us. Almost always you're delivering within the zone. So we're making some of the best money we've made. Our tanks of gas have gone from filling up the tank every day or every other day to every 4 days or something like that. And we're even we've been putting 91 octane in. I don't know why I said even, but because an interesting story, they have 85 octane here, and I guess that's I guess that's because of the altitude. We're at 7,220, which is pretty dang high, and I guess it can function better, make engines function better than the 87 when you're at high altitude. We started having some rough running and stuff, and like sputtering after we turned it off, and we did some research and realized it could be the gas, so we just wait the next day and put 91, and then we've just been using 91 ever since. And I don't know if that's part of the MPG. I think a large part of the MPG improving is the fact that we don't have to use air conditioning here. In Kansas City, we definitely had to use it. Even in the middle of the night, we had to 2-3 times maybe turn the engine on for 15 minutes, run an AC. But here, we don't need AC even in the day. We just don't. You don't need it. It's like right now, it's cold. It's been cold here. So It is a kind of a unicorn place to DoorDash, to be honest. And when I researched this before coming here, Google AI said, "Oh, you'll make about 14 an hour." That was totally off, and I don't know if it's because we're platinum dashers that maybe we're getting better offers, but it's just like easy money here in a sense. So that was good. What did we do? We ate Taco Bell burritos for lunch, much to our chagrin, but it's not really that bad. We were talking about, Nikki worked at Taco Bell, and it's not like there's cooking stuff in hydrogenated oils. You have these dehydrated beans, you add hot water and a chafer, and got a tortilla, and you got cheese and rice that's probably parboiled, and you kind of heat it up, and then you put the whole burrito in a warmer. But it's cheap, and it's protein and calories, and so then for dinner we had, Nikki made canned chicken breast, and this pasta that we get. It's like 50-cent bag of pasta. It's in the ethnic food aisle or something, like in the Hispanic food. And it's like somebody took kind of a fine spaghetti and like broke it. It's just a lot of little pieces, and it's good. And she puts butter in it, and Parmesan cheese, and seasonings. And the butter she uses like this European style butter. It's like, what it tastes like is, it reminds me of what I remembered butter tasting like when I was a kid, especially in restaurants. So it's like, that's another topic of talking about how food has changed. But it's so delicious. It was so good. And we're here at the park because we cooked and we're charging this EcoFlow. I'm forgetting what I did in the first video and what I did in this one, but I didn't already show you this. This is the EcoFlow. This is what we can do. Plug all kinds of normal, household jack stuff in here. We can charge phones and whatever, USB-A's, USB-C, a DC 12 volt, I think is what you call that. And it can be charged by outlet, or by a cigarette lighter, or by solar panels. One day we'd like to get the solar panels. But this thing's charged now, so we're gonna leave and go to bed. And I guess that was it for today. I can't think of anything else too interesting. So if you watched this video, thank you for watching, and I hope you're enjoying these. If you have any suggestions, feel free to comment. You can tear me apart, tell me how bad I suck or whatever, what I could improve. I don't care. But anyway, thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.